your hand function once you have. So, Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we're very pleased to, welcome this group of signees, early signees. I think this is the 5th year we've had an early signing date, and it's kind of become the signing date for a good number of players. But we were able to add 22 players to this class with the possibility of maybe another guy or two before it's over. 7 of those players are from the state of Alabama. This day represents the culmination, at least for now, for a lot of people who do a great job of being a part of our team to help us attract, character quality people who want to get an education, who want to be great football players to, this university. People in the university community do a wonderful job of helping us in our recruiting efforts, our administration, Dr. Bell, Greg Byrne in the athletic department. Many people around the university community do a great job in terms of their time spent and the contributions that they made, as well as, the accumulation of all the efforts of the coaching staff, our recruiting staff, all the people in the football organization. We try to identify the needs that we have, each year, and do the best job we can to identify, the best players that fill those needs. And we think this class will certainly help us continue to, build the kind of program that we want to have in the future, which is very competitive, and that these guys will have a chance to, be successful individually and collectively as a team. But as I say every year, I think that, we're talking about, people that are young and still developing, and to be able to encourage them to focus on their growth and development, personally, academically, and athletically, is the hope that we have that they will grow into mighty successful people, in the future. It's the focus has to be on development, because we want guys to look at going to college as a destination where they're going to get an education, develop a career off the field, prepare themselves for the day they can't play football, not just a direction to and also develop a career as a football player, but not just a direction to go on and play at the next level, because I think there's a lot of value in how people develop a chance to be successful in life by what they do in college. We were able to satisfy a lot of needs, in this class. Speed on offense. We're always excited to get a quality quarterback, and we think Ty Simpson is certainly, someone who we recruited a long time, know a lot about, has made of the right stuff, and certainly has a lot of talent and ability. We got a lot of speed at the skill positions on offense, running back and wide receiver. We got a couple really good offensive line prospects, some good tight end prospects, a lot of solid players on defense, couple guys up front, couple linebackers, couple rushers, some people in the secondary. Overall, I think, we're never totally satisfied with who we're able to attract, but we're very, very pleased with the guys that we're able to attract in this class to this point.
We'll start with Nick Kelly. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, what stands out to you about Jeremiah Alexander's game?
The guy's an outstanding football player. Makes a lot of plays, very instinctive, very explosive, good pass rusher. He's got a lot of power as a player. And he's been a guy that's been productive now for 3 years, in high school, and they won, several state championships in a row. And I think, his leadership and his ability to make plays on defense has probably contributed to that in a significant way. And I think the guy's an outstanding football player.
We'll go to Michael Casagrande. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, could you talk more specifically about Ty Simpson, what he brings in his game, and how will he be able to contribute in bowl practices this year?
It's every player's opportunity if they're mid-year, if they graduate, if they want to come in and, try to contribute in bowl practice. And he's indicated that he may be interested in doing that. Obviously it will help his development and it'll help us by having another hand at that position, which is always important, whether it's scout team or, taking reps, with the first and second team in terms of his development. But, Ty is really, they won the state championship. Won the player of the year in Tennessee. Guy's got a really good arm. He's very accurate. He's smart. He's kind of one of those guys that loves football, is always asking football questions, wants to learn as much as he can. I think sometimes those guys get referred to as football junkies, but that's a good thing, and certainly a good thing at the quarterback position. I think he's bright, he's smart, he's a good decision maker, he's very instinctive as a player. He can make plays with his feet. I just think in every way, he was the guy we targeted in his class as being the guy that we wanted, and we felt very fortunate that we were able to get him.
Go to Aaron Suttles.
I know coaches are still feeling their way through this with name, image, and likeness, and there are things that you can say and can't say, but what was your experience with it this recruiting cycle?
Look, the dynamics of recruiting have changed, and we're not supposed to use name, image, and likeness as something that influences a player to choose a school. It's something that he should earn, after he enrolls in a school. I'm not going to make any comments about who did what or what happened out there in recruiting. All I know is we want to have the best program that we can for our guys in name, image, and likeness when they get here as players, so they can create and develop value for themselves so that they get opportunities, to have additional income when it comes to name, image, and likeness. And, I was very pleased with, how our players did this year. And
in your opening, just what did you think of the group of receivers you were able to add?
Well, I think that's one of the groups that I was referring to. So I think we've had some really good receivers here, in the last, I think, 4 first-round draft picks, and the potential of, the guys that we have this year having opportunities at the next level. So we want to continue to be able to attract guys like that, or difference makers, people that can actually put points on the board, make explosive plays, have been something that's really been a significant part of our offensive production. Obviously, you need to have a good quarterback to do that. Bryce did a great job of, allowing those guys to be able to feature their talents. And I feel good about this group of guys. But again, it all goes back to, how do they develop? How can they stay focused on what they need to do to be complete players at their position so that they can play fast and play with confidence? But I think physical ability wise, this is a very good group.
Go to Tony Suttles.
What do you think about your defensive line class, and how big of an addition was Curtis Perry today, picking him up?
Curtis is really a good player. He's got great initial quickness. He's a good pass rusher. Guy's very, very productive. He's very instinctive. He runs well. We were excited, to get him. And we wanted to get some guys like that are athletic. And, Jaheim is a big guy that hard to block. I think we still need to get some guys like that for certain situations. And Isaiah Hastings has a lot of upside and ability. He's only played 1 year of American football this year, but we were really impressed with his ability and his upside and what he can become.
Go to Blake Topmeyer.
Yeah, Nick, as you mentioned, we're several years into this December signing period. Do you think this December period, is it good for athletes? Is it good for the sport, or would you like to see something different in the recruiting calendar?
Well, I think, basically what I do is try to adapt to whatever the circumstance and ever the situation that we have. But, we made a decision to move up the recruiting calendar significantly several years ago. guys visiting in the summertime, and I think all that sort of married up to having an early signing date. We've just adapted to that and done the best that we can to, but we also said that, and many people said that when we had an early signing date, that it would become the signing date. And I think a lot of players now gear their whole recruiting process to make an early decision. I can't really say that that's a good thing or a bad thing. We just adapted to it and try to do the best we can, having earlier visits, having more visits during the season, and then spend more time in January on the few prospects that are left and, junior recruiting for the next class.
We'll go to Bruce Feldman.
Hey, Coach, you've been in the business a long time and obviously been part of a lot of signing days. This is a little bit of a curveball, but I know you work with Deion Sanders on all those commercials. How would you put in context how surprising, if at all, this would be that an FCS program could land the #1 overall recruit?
Really, I have a lot of respect for Deion Sanders. He's a good coach. He's a good guy. He was a great player. He's got great personality, and I enjoy doing commercials with him, but it's not for me to comment on who makes what decisions to go where based on what circumstances. And, he got a great player, and I think that's good for his program. And I'm not really going to make any comments about what happened. I don't really know the background or, the details of, what happened there. But, everybody has the right to make those choices and decisions. That's why it's America, and everybody has freedom of choice. So I'm happy for him that he got a great player.
Go to Stephen Smith.
Coach, you pride yourself on getting the best corners, the technician at that cornerback position. In watching Earl Middle Jr., what impressed you the most about his high school career as he signed as a corner?
Earl, I think is, an outstanding player. He's got really good feet. He can run. He's an instinctive player. He plays with toughness. He was on the top of our board, all year long as one of the outstanding corners in the country. And we're excited to have him, excited to get him. I think he's going to have a great opportunity here, with us, based on, the players that we have coming back. So he's a very mature young man. And I think that he's smart. And I think, those kind of guys sort of can develop a little more quickly. His dad was a great player. His dad's a coach. So I think sometimes that adds to, guys' overall knowledge and ability to understand concepts and develop confidence in how they need to play. So we're excited about Earl Little.
We'll go to Justin McNeely.
Hey, Coach, player down in our area, Emmanuel Henderson, has kind of been committed to you guys for a while. What stuck out to you about him, and where do you think he fits in and what he can bring to this Tide team?
Well, Emmanuel is a great athlete. He played a lot of positions in high school. I've asked him on numerous occasions, what do you want to play? And he just says, I'll play whatever you need me to play, whatever I can do to help the team. But I think the guy has special athletic ability, probably could be a receiver, probably could be a running back. Where he fits the best, we'll probably be able to figure out better, once he gets here and we start working with him and can actually, sort of evaluate his skill set firsthand. But we think he's an outstanding young man and an outstanding, player that has, great potential. But again, everybody's got to be focused on what do I have to do to develop as a player? And what kind of mindset do I have to focus on the process of what I need to do it, and how much self-discipline I have to get it done. And Emmanuel seems like the right kind of guy to do those things.
Got time for two more. We'll go to Nick Alvarez.
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw a boost this year by having kids back at games and, the recruits kind of getting to know each other a bit beforehand throughout this process. If that kind of boosted, the message you guys are selling.
I always think it's helpful when players develop relationships with other players that are going to be in their class or be on their team, whether it's players that are already here or players that are committed to coming here. And I do think we had a good core group of guys that when they committed early, they stayed in touch with each other and developed a bit of a bond, which probably, was helpful in, keeping the class together.
We'll finish up with a follow-up from Charlie Potter.
Yeah, Coach, just want to ask you quickly about a couple of corners on your current roster and Josh Jobe and Jalen Armour-Davis. Do you just have an update on those guys?
I really don't have an update on those guys. We're starting practice tomorrow, obviously. I don't know what Jalen Armour-Davis's status will be, how much he'll be able to do in practice, where he will be physically. I know he wants to try to play in the game. Josh Jobe is, played with a turf toe, all year long. And it got to the point where it was very difficult for him to practice and be able to play. So he's very doubtful for the game.
Thanks, Coach.